Hello Commanders, welcome back, I'm Squid of Love and today we're going to take a look at Infinity Battlescape, which is a multiplayer space sim where hundreds of players will be able to fight with and against each other in order to take control of a single true-to-scale solar system. Infinity Battlescape is being developed by Innova Studios and at the moment there is a project live on Kickstarter, so you can follow the link on the description, take a look on the project on Infinity Battlescape and back it if you want. Before we go ahead, I have to mention that this is just a prototype build. It's not even a pre-alpha, and I would also like to thank the developers for giving me the opportunity to test this very good looking, even at this stage, and very promising game. So let's get out of here and first of all take a look on our vessel, the Ilion Corvette. Let's get back inside the cockpit and power up our ship. Try to get out of our location and take a look around. The commands are very simple. Here are all the commands we can see and do whatever we like. We can take a look inside our cockpit, we can watch outside, and of course we can change the third person view, travel like this while we are watching on our spaceship. This is the Ilion Corvette, like I said, and it is the biggest of the small ships in the game. It's a medium-sized vessel. There will be small-sized vessels, there will be capital ships in the game, and you will be able to pilot and fight with each one of these vessels. The number one selling point for Infinity Battlescape is the seamless transition from space to the surface of the planets, and this will give the players the opportunity to fight in space, then fly into the surface of the planet and continue fighting in there. And in order to achieve this, Innova Studios have developed their own engine, the Innova engine, and it is quite impressive from what we can see. I know this is only a prototype, but it looks quite good, it looks quite well. Let's take a look. At the moment in the solar system there are a couple of planets, an Earth-like planet like this one over here, a gas giant, a volcanic moon, and a planet that is looking a lot like Mars. The developers want to show that the planets will be unique when the game is complete, and of course the graphics will be a lot better, so don't judge the game from this prototype build. The graphics will be a lot better and players will have to fight in beautiful and stunning worlds, alien worlds and Earth-like worlds. Let's take a look on this debris. You will fly and fight against other players pretty much everywhere you want, in asteroid belts, in debris like this one, in the surface of the planet. There will be a freedom of where you fly and what you do. Players will be divided in 3 different corporations, 3 different teams, and will fight for control of the system. Let's change back and fly inside the asteroid belt. Although it is only a prototype build, I think that flying inside the asteroid belt feels a lot better than other games, similar games that are completed or in a much better state. That's my personal opinion, of course. I really like the asteroid belt and I really like how it feels to fly inside this dangerous field. But let's get out of the asteroid belt before we crash and try to get to the surface of this Earth-like world. Change to third person view and try to land somewhere on the planet. After all, this is the number one selling point for Infinity Battlescape, and from what I've seen they have succeeded in providing seamless transitions. It will be easier to be on the cockpit. You have to reach a certain speed in order to get into warp. We have reached the speed, it's around 2.5 km per second, and we can now initiate warp in order to travel faster and farther away. don't want to go very fast though, or else we're going to crash on the surface. We just want to enter smoothly inside the atmosphere of this planet and try to land somewhere. On the right side of our HUD we can see our altitude. We are at around 600 kilometers from the surface of the planet. Let's try to find a nice area to land. Let's go towards that direction. As we get inside the atmosphere, as we are getting closer to the surface, we will start feeling some rumbling, and it will be a bit harder to handle our vessel, but not impossible, and it will only last for a while. We can take a nice view from a third-person camera, take a look on the planet. At the moment there aren't much you can do on the prototype build, and this is because it's mainly a sandbox. It's practically a sandbox, a mode where you can freely explore the planets and fly on space, try to kill other players if there is anyone nearby, but not much things you can do. We can start feeling the rumbling now, and it gets a bit hard to handle the vessel, but as we're getting closer this will go and it will become smoothly again. It is quite impressive that they have achieved, Innova Studios have achieved to provide an experience like this, where we can enter the atmosphere of the planet and start landing like this so easily. And it will be a lot more interesting when there will be a lot more players around and there will be fights that you will be able to see from the surface of the planet. If there is a big fight going on in space, you will be able to see it from the surface of the planet you are at any given time. And this is also very impressive as well. Like I said before, players will be divided in 3 different teams, 3 different corporations, and they will be fighting each other in order to take control of the solar system. There will be factories on the planets that generate credits for each team, and you will have to destroy them. The enemy team will have to defend it. And although team play will be very important, solo players will also be able to enjoy this game. There will be no ground combat. From what the developers have said, there will only be combat in spaceships, small spaceships from interceptors to capital ships, and you will be able to fly each and every one of them if you can afford to buy them, of course. Let's land though. And we can see the planetary rings, a very beautiful sight. I do like the way it looks, even at its current state, actually. It can only get better. We are at 1.6 kilometers from the surface. Let's start descending. Take a look from the third-person camera. It's much easier to control your vessel from the inside, from the cockpit, and this is why it's better to be in here when you're trying to land or when you're flying. Third person view is more like to give you a nice feeling of the surroundings and to admire the beauty of the worlds and the ships when they will be completed. Let's land though. We are on the surface of the planet. Quite interesting, quite impressive, and we can take a look. We can see the Mars-like planet on the horizon, the planetary rings. It's a very nice project. I really hope it will go well, and I think it will go well. The Kickstarter is going quite well. They have amassed more than 50% of their goal, and I'm quite positive that they will have a success. You can go to their page and take a look at all of the goals, what they are trying to achieve and what they want to offer with this game. The developers have said that they want to have a semi-persistence in the game if they reach a certain goal. I believe it's $1.5 million. If they gather that amount of money with the Kickstarter, they will add the same persistence to this universe, to this game, and players will be able to build their own stations, their own factories, their own outposts. It will be very interesting, a very interesting game. So let's get out of this planet and try to visit the Mars-like one. It's quite beautiful, and you can imagine these areas full of players fighting each other, trying to complete their goals. At the moment there are some NPC flying around and very few players that you can try to hunt down and kill if you want. But at the moment mostly NPC are flying around, such as this one, Sky H2. We can shoot at them, but nothing really will happen. They are indestructible. There are more coming, there are more flying by. We can try to hurt them, but we won't be able to kill them. Let's go for Sky A3. When our target goes red, it means that we can fire it and we can shoot it. Like I said, they are indestructible, nothing can happen. I do love the way this station looks like, and of course the background, the beautiful planet that is below us, the Mars-like planet. It is a very promising game. I really hope it will go well on the Kickstarter, and we will be able to play it sometime soon. But we came here to land on the Mars-like planet, so let's go and land. Again, we can feel the rumble as we approach the surface. It's a bit harder to control our spaceship, but it's going to be fine. There will be a great variety of alien worlds at the finished game, and it will be very interesting to fly, explore and fight these worlds. The game will mainly be a fight simulator, a fight space sim, where you fight with hundreds of other players, but there will also be an offline mode where you can explore, fly around and try different ships and loadouts. And at $1.5 million, if they achieve that goal through the Kickstarter campaign, then they are going to add a semi-persistent universe where players will be able to build their own stations and outposts. I do also I love the detail on the surface of the maps. Each map is different. We have only visited two, but there is also a volcanic moon and the gas giant. Where should we land? Let's land somewhere around here, but let's check our altitude. 5 kilometers. Let's start landing. Team play will be very important in order to achieve the goals of the team, but you will also be able to play solo, and you will be able to play stealthy. You will be able to fly in canyons, approach enemy settlements without being seen and try to attack. Every ship has its own role, so for example interceptors will be strong against bombers, bombers will be strong against settlements, but you will need to combine your forces in order to achieve the goals and destroy the enemy. Very, very, very promising game. I've said it so many times, but that's the truth. Where are we? 160 meters. We are gonna land right in here. It would have been nice if there was some ground combat as well, but even like this, the game looks awesome. Again, remember, prototype build. It looks quite good for prototype build, and don't judge it. So this was Infinity Battlescape, still a prototype build. It is very promising and I hope it will go well. Thank you very much for joining me watching this video. I'm Squid of Love and I will see you next time. Bye bye.